The shock of Russia's invasion of Ukraine has triggered different reactions worldwide, but Western sanctions are perhaps the most severe so far. Even so, there are emerging concerns that Russia could very well turn to cryptocurrency to undermine the effects of these sanctions. But is that really plausible? Stay tuned as we debunk Russia's crypto loophole. Hello and welcome to Cryptospeak. I'm Josh. Let's now see if Russia can actually use cryptocurrency to beat Western sanctions. There is no doubt that it's hard to freeze assets stored in cryptocurrency. In fact, that's mainly why many people fear that Russia, or Putin for that matter, can use them to work around Western sanctions. Think about it. What good does kicking Russia out of the SWIFT network do if Putin can just use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to move billions around the world? But contrary to what you and many people might think, this is actually very difficult to pull off. And why is that, you might ask? Well, even all the Bitcoin in the world cannot sustain Putin's war chest. Russia has a $650 billion war chest, while the total value of the biggest cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, just as of posting this video, stands just shy of $741 billion. Why is that important to note? Well, it means that Putin will have to literally buy all the Bitcoin in the world today to sustain his war chest. And considering that not many people will be ready to let go of their Bitcoin, you could see why the idea of him buying all the Bitcoin in the world is just not feasible. But what if people are ready to sell their Bitcoin to Putin? Even if people are ready to dump all their Bitcoin into Putin's wallet, some conditions just won't let things work out for him. Number one, the market for turning Russian rubles into Bitcoin is significantly thin. At the moment, you can only exchange the equivalent of about $200,000 at a time, which is way too low to matter in Putin's operations. According to analysts, Russia's war on Ukraine demands more than $20 billion daily in liquidity. Number two, crypto exchanges might not be ready to play ball. Even though Russia cannot be singled out and banned from the Bitcoin blockchain, it can still be barred from using crypto exchanges that operate in Western destinations. Let me tell you why that is. For US sanctions to take effect, they have to be greenlit by the president through an executive order or by Congress in legislation. After approval, the Office of Foreign Assets Control identifies specific targets by name, and these could be anything from governments and companies to particular persons. These sanctioned parties are then added to a blacklist, and with that, it becomes illegal for any US citizen to transact with them. But what if someone is willing to take the risk? Well, there is another problem here. The market for such illegal transactions is relatively insignificant. Besides, since the blockchain is public, it's easy to track where the money flows. Only recently, Heather Morgan, aka Razzle Khan, or the Crocodile of Wall Street, and her husband, Ilya Lichtenstein, were arrested and charged with laundering $4.6 billion worth of Bitcoin stolen from Hong Kong-based exchange Bitfinex in a 2016 hack. This is just one case that attests to the fact that cryptocurrency is not a haven for criminals. That being said, what other option can Putin explore in crypto to fund his war efforts? Let's say Putin is as smart as he looks and portrays himself. How can he beat all these bottlenecks we've already covered? There's one more loophole he could explore, and that is stealing crypto. Yes, it's actually possible to steal crypto through ransomware. By definition, ransomware involves using malware to encrypt vital files on a device so that any files or systems that rely on them become inaccessible or unusable. The perpetrators then demand ransom to decrypt the files. Now, it's important to note that Russian cybercriminals masterminded nearly 74% of all ransomware in the world in the last year. 74%! And while Putin wouldn't have a hard time getting a hold of crypto using this tactic, the rate at which he can acquire it is too slow to make much of an impact. See, despite Russia being the hotbed for ransomware, it is estimated that it only generated about $400 million last year. And this is a drop in the ocean when pegged against the billions Putin needs to keep the war and the economy going. So we can safely assume that while Putin would love to use the power of crypto to work around sanctions, it just can't generate the kind of funds that would make a difference for him. The sheer scale at which Russia needs to convert its reserves is just beyond what the crypto market can accommodate right now. Of course, this is something that the US has already analysed, which explains why they're not too worried about Putin actually using crypto to stay financially afloat. But it's not just the US that seems to have thought about the limitations of crypto. Putin has too. In 2021, he actually said that he wasn't looking to leverage crypto to make international transactions. In any case, drawing from the fact that he started building reserves as early as 2015, wouldn't he have also started building his crypto holdings early as well? Why wait till now, knowing that sanctions would be inevitable? So, if not crypto, what is Putin counting on to weather the sanction? Russia doesn't rely on other countries a lot, especially not for the most important thing. For one, it has a very good agricultural sector that comfortably meets the needs of its people. It also has plenty of natural resources, including oil and gas, which it also exports to other European countries. The technology isn't bad either, and the country has a pretty robust cybersecurity, capable of withstanding attacks. These, coupled with the fact that Europe hugely depends on Russia for natural gas, could be why Putin is hell-bent on continuing his efforts to invade and occupy Ukraine. Now, as you can see, crypto is really not a viable option for Putin, at least not on the grand scale he needs to keep his country afloat and his war efforts alive. However, crypto is still playing a role in the war, and for good. Ukraine is currently accepting donations in Bitcoin, Ether, and even Doge for those who would like to support. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and a share, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more crypto content. That's it from me, I'm Josh, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.